Welcome to Red Lipstick Vibes, where the vibes are always positive. Now, child, listen, there's a little disclaimer, okay? All views and opinions are not the views of the host. This is a space for all to share their views respectfully and on topic, baby. If you are triggered or bothered by someone's opinions or thoughts, address them directly. Do not come for me, child. There is no censorship here unless you are targeting someone personally with the intent of being messy and rude. Let me be clear. We are here to understand all thoughts, views, and address the topics or questions that are being asked. I want to keep the conversation going to gain understanding from all men and women, respectively.
Hey everybody. Oh, there y'all go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Sunday. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Um, I know this is a busy day for everybody, and I know a lot of people, especially back home, they are doing the AFRAM thing. Okay. So I saw something and I just want to talk about it real quick. Nothing big, nothing major. I was watching I think it was two weeks ago on Team Fatty's show. As you can see on the thumbnail, it's Team Fatty's show, and I believe it was the super panel. And so they were talking with the young lady on there, and she made some very interesting statements. Okay, it was interesting. I will put the link in the description so that you can go watch the full show. However, she made some comments about some things, and we're going to review the clip in a second, and then I'm going to get into my slides, and we're going to talk about it. Let me take the chat thing down because we don't need that. That and that. As always, you guys, you know what the goals are. 10 membership goals, $80 for the Paper Towel Fund, and
don't forget to hit the Cash App and support the show. $ Red Lipstick Vibes.
Okay, so we got that out the way. All right. The link is at the top if anybody else want to join. Hey Cynical One, how are you, darling? Okay. Yes, baby. Okay. Yes. Yes, indeed. And speaking of, since she Cynical One just brought it up, where is it? Hold on. Let me so this week is going to be a little busy week for me. We do have a men's panel, Blueprint to a Man Thoughts, on Wednesday. Okay, so y'all know how that gets. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be part 2 of Man in the Mirror. Okay, I mean this was Travel. I have to give the shout out to Travel One. Okay, Travel One is the one that kind of sparked this conversation, because after every show she gonna put what about the means. Okay, so I said let's do a show where we gonna address the means. Okay, so shout out to Travel One. And speaking of, Cynical One just said it. And so we're going to get into it. Okay. Just so y'all know and y'all can see it. Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday. We are going to have Blueprint to a Man's Thoughts. And we're going to be going part 2 of Man in the Mirror. And guess what? It's a birthday celebration. Oh, it's a birthday celebration. It is also a birthday celebration. It's my birthday, okay? I will be turning the big 50. Okay. So my birthday is on Thursday, but since we're doing the show on Wednesday, I was like, we can celebrate my birthday at the same time. But Wednesday, it's Blueprint to a Man's Thoughts. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get into some things and talk about some things. Okay. Shout out to CBZ for the $3 super sticker, and it's Chiba Doggy, and it's like asking everyone how everyone is doing. Yeah. Your birthday is on a Saturday. Happy birthday. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yum. So make sure you come out so we can celebrate together, girl. Okay. So anyway, let us get into why I'm here. I saw something. I want y'all to see something. Okay. Let me pull up the media file, because I want y'all to see what I saw. So we're gonna look at the clip, and then I'm gonna go through my my little notes that I put down for you guys. So again, thank you, CBB. So I was watching Teen Fatty's Super Panel. They were having a conversation, and I sent the super chat because the young lady kept saying, I follow the Proverbs 31 blueprint for a woman, right? For a wife. But everything that she was saying was contradicting what the actual Proverbs 31 woman is, right? So I saw something, guys. So I want you guys to see something, and then we're just gonna review it, and then we head on out, because I know this Sunday is everybody's like a little busy and everything, and the super panel is gonna be starting soon. I mean, the ladies first gonna be starting soon. We're gonna be redirected there. So let's get into the clip first. Let's get into the clip.
I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
All right, here we go, guys.
What a man does. Because if you are defining what the man job is, if you are defining what that man job is, he's not the helpmeet, he's a workhorse. He's the one that is carrying the shit, and you are telling him exactly where to go, where to do, and how to behave, because that's what you want from him, and that's exactly the rules that we're stipulating for that relationship. If you are flexible, I will say another thing. But what you describe is not a leader. What you describe is somebody that is doing what you want him to do.
That's what
or she described it from her own perspective and situation.
So back to what I was saying, Athena, this is why I push back against what you were saying. Let's say I have a job and I hire you for this job and I'm your supervisor, and you say, okay, great, I'm ready to work. And I just tell you, and you ask me, well, what are my duties today? And I say, well, to have a good work environment, make sure that everything looks good. And I just walk off. Did I really tell you anything?
No.
That's what help. That's what it means when you tell me. That's what I translate when you say a helpmate. Because if you ask me, Ali, or Fatty what a helpmate is, we'll give you 3 different interpretations from what that means. Because we don't know what that means when you say that. Because I can't assume what you mean a helpmate mean. That could be dishes and all this other stuff, but no sex life in 3 months. Or that could be like do whatever I say in obedience. And obedience, when I say these words get demonized all the time because people hate 2 words. They hate submission because it sounds like slavery, and they hate obedience because it also sounds like slavery. So let me break it down with my definitions of.
So in the conversation, the men were asking, what is the role of the wife, right? And thank you, 18. It's not until Thursday, but thank you. thank you. I was on the way. They were asking like what are the characteristics of, you know, what a wife should be or whatever. And they were expressing how it's easy for them to just ramble off or just say what the job duties of a wife, a husband is. But when it comes for women to say what theirs are, they're all over the place. So so this is where they were like getting kind of confused and stuff. So the link is at the top if any of the ladies want to come up and let's discuss the Proverbs 31 woman. But we're reviewing where I'm picking this up from. The link is at the top. You don't have to be on camera. It's a relaxed day today. So let's finish up and listen up with what they have to say.
Maybe this makes sense.
Hey, I'm Take Heed is in the messages in the house. Hey, Take Heed, A-Team is in the house as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. The link is at the top if you want to come up and discuss Proverbs 31 woman. Because apparently, child, to some people, she's just a businesswoman. But anyway, let's go.
To the masses, because we aren't the only 6 microcosm looking at this. There's an audience out there looking at this. Submission is voluntary cooperation. Sounds less like slavery, right? So when I talk about submission, that means even if you don't like it, you're doing it for the greater good. I'm going to do it even though I don't feel like doing it because it just needs to be done. So when I say these terms, they need to be defined. When I talk about duties, you have to say what the duties are. You just can't say, well, as long as I'm happy, it's fine. Well, that's not a duty. Help me. No, that's not a duty. You got to tell me what that means. What's in the umbrella of what those duties are. It has to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like sex, having a baby.
It's interesting, like every time when the fellas ask that question, like the way the ladies can't really like say what their duties are, they always give the what do they say? It depends on what the man says. So let me see. I sent the super chat for $5, but I don't see it. I don't see it either. Take heed. It didn't. It's not showing up. It's not showing up over here either. Uh-oh. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go on mute for a second. I don't know. Take heed. No, it says not. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. When I just sent one, it just came through. I don't know, Take Heed. I don't know what happened to it, Take Heed, but thank you.
I don't know. When I just
shout out to Big Dog walking in the house. Thank you for coming through. I don't know what happened to it. You two acting up, y'all. But so let's continue. So here's where so the guys were like, you know, we can say what our duties are, but the men can't say what their duties are. I mean, but the men can say what their duties are, but the women can't say what their duties are, right? And so here's where it starts to get kind of weird.
I
say it all the time, Marte. I say that there's no responsibilities that most women can list out that they would be shameful for not following. Matter of fact, they can define what a real man is, and you always have to be a real man, even if you're 16.
all the time.
They can't tell you what a real woman is, and you don't.
The Proverbs 31 woman. It
Tina,
lists it all out in the Bible.
Tina, what are we missing?
Okay, here we go. So even before in the beginning of the conversation, she was saying some suspect stuff. And again, I'll link the entire show in the description so you guys can go and watch it, because I only clipped to submit. So she's quick to point out the Proverbs 31 woman, right? And so here is where it starts to get interesting.
About your statement, or what are we getting wrong?
I think we're saying the same thing, but there's some sort of misunderstanding, because I agree with everything you said. Obviously, there is submission. Every guy is going to. So whenever a woman is the man's rib, she is more fluid and changes more towards what the man needs. Like I have heard the analogy of a man being a container and the woman is the water in the container. She forms to him. He holds his masculine frame, and she adjusts to him.
Tina, would you choose a man that doesn't comply with the leadership style that you want him to have?
No.
So we're talking about.
You
are the container. He's the water.
I'm not the container. God is the no. Not when your standard is biblical truth.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. If your container is a water container and you wouldn't allow Coke, you wouldn't allow Pepsi, you wouldn't allow 7-Up, you wouldn't allow no liquid that is not water, you are the one that is putting the rules on, because you are saying, if you don't lead the way I deem you as a leader, I will never pick you. So you
I don't make the rules. I go by what the Bible says, not what I say.
I'll give you a Bible.
One second, I got it. One second, Tina. When you order Uber, there's like 7 options: Uber X, Uber Comfort, Uber this, Uber that. If you are the one that every time you ask Uber is always Uber X, you never go to Uber Comfort, you are the one that is deciding the terms of that trip. So I'm not saying that you are going to implicitly lead, but if that man doesn't display a level of leadership that you are comfortable of following, you will never pick him because he's not your leader. So you are the determinant of what you have over there when it comes to leadership. Is he the real leader when you're saying you only can lead the way I want you to lead? If I'm a basketball player and I say my coach can only run triangle, if he doesn't run triangle, I want him out of here. Who is the leader? Is the coach or is the player?
And
I see what you're saying now.
I'm asking you a question, okay? Because this is what Marte was trying to say and what Fatty's trying to say. You sounding the part instead of being the part. What Bible verse are you using that you're saying you wouldn't be following? Because every time sisters go to talk about this, they try to go to a certain Bible verse, but there's a Bible verse I want to use. I want to see what Bible verse are you saying to justify why you're saying what you're saying.
Okay, I will get to that, but I see what you're saying now, Fatty, and I just want to address that. You're making the decision on what you're accepting before you're in a relationship. After the terms have already been made, then you follow his lead, whether you agree with it or not. When you have committed yourself to a man, if you don't agree with it, I mean, that you made that decision to marry that man when you did. And so you don't get to decide.
That's a kind of a contradiction, though, because you said you wouldn't follow that man's lead in the beginning if he didn't say what you wanted to hear. But you just said if you got in a relationship that if he changed it, you change it.
No. You keep saying if he doesn't follow what you want him to do, if he does not follow biblical truth to an extent. I'm not expecting perfect. I'm not expecting to marry Jesus. Okay, but he has. Huh?
So I have this verse ready for every woman that comes on here says what you say. And you look into 1 Peter 3. And you tell me what it means when you hear it. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, that they also may without the word be won by the conversations of the wives. So what is that word? What is that verse saying?
Say that last part again.
I'm gonna say it one more time. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Okay, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if they obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of their wives. What does that verse say?
You said it. Okay.
What can you read a different version?
A different version. So I'm gonna go. We walk this down. Ye white wives.
That they were all confused with that. They were all confused with that scripture, y'all. Oh my goodness! Let's go again.
ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. It means submit to your husbands. To your husbands. Not even talk about the Bible yet. Go to 1 Peter 3. That if any obey not the word, that your husband doesn't follow the Bible, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. So you're supposed to still listen to your husband, even if he doesn't read the Bible, but that with your voice and you helping him, that he may be convert back to the word. Yes.
Yes, you are.
The Bible says no matter what, you're supposed to submit to your husband.
Athena, let me ask you a question real quick. Was that an Orthodox one that you showed me?
Yes.
That's a W. Okay, we can get back to the conversation. That's a massive W. All right.
I've been Orthodox since I was 11.
But that's the part that is not making sense to Fatty.
Ali's actually correcting this one. I agree with him. So I'm gonna let Ali finish.
If a man can get you to change your mind inside the relationship because he's your leader.
So here's the other thing that was cracking me out. She was like, "Oh, I'm Orthodox or whatever." But when if you go back and watch the entire show, I would say like 80% of the stuff she was saying is not biblical, or she was not adhering to what she say. So that's why I kind of like I that conversation when people just ready to beat you on the head with scriptures and things and their beliefs, the Christian beliefs or whatever, or the religious beliefs, but yet everything that comes out of your mouth is a contradiction to it. And so that's where I kind of find it problematic. So let's continue.
Why aren't you not following him based on what you want from the man prior to the relationship starting? If you're not picking the man to be what you want, if you're not picking the man and what he wants from the man you pick from, that's where the problem comes. Soon as you try to change him, that's when you start taking the L, because most women want the man to change for them instead of changing for their leader. And as soon as you get him to change for you, you start leading the relationship to the end of the relationship.
And then you start resenting the man too.
And say exactly how he's not leading. And if he is a godly man and his wife comes and says, "Hey, I love you and I will follow you no matter what, but I don't think that this is a good idea." And I did do that with my ex-husband. I still did what he said. Like, and I'll even give you an example. I did not think it was a good business decision to buy a bulldozer cash in the economy that we were in. He said, I can do this. I want to do this. So we did. We spent almost 70 grand cash. And I was like, I do not think this is a good idea.
You work?
Huh?
You work?
I started the business.
Does he, who makes the money now? You or him?
Oh, no, we divorced.
No, but while y'all were together, who was making the money?
We both were. I did the things that he couldn't do for himself to own a business because he knew how to do the physical work. He does not know how to do any of the.
But were you doing this with other decisions in the household as well too? Because men are typically this is what men are typically used to. Okay, babe, for us, I'd like this. Yes, I like that. Yes, I want to go. Yes, this. Yes. Hey, babe, I'd like for you to. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that. I think we should do it a different way. Were you doing that with other things in the relationship? Where you were challenging every decision? Not every decision.
No, not every decision, but
I didn't mean to say every. But were you challenging his decisions consistently?
No, I wouldn't say I challenged it consistently. And even if, so I had a little bit. I mean, we earned a lot of money, and I had a little bit of an Amazon shopping problem. And all he had to say was, "Cut it out, done."
No,
didn't get on Amazon for like 3 or 4 months.
Hold on real quick. You said you started the business. Who was working the business?
We both were. I was doing negotiations, procuring.
All right, here is where I sent the super chat, because she kept talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, but everything that she's talking about was contradicting everything we were saying, right? So my super chat was, women always say Proverbs 31 woman and have no idea what that really means in their life, and they're living a contradiction to Proverbs 31. Because a lot of the stuff that she was up there saying with her Orthodox Bible was literally a contradiction to the Proverbs 31 woman. Okay, so here we
go. Equipment, all the admin side, putting out bids and all of that. He was doing the physical in the field work. I was doing.
Who was replaceable?
Honestly, him.
Let me
Wow.
say this,
Oh,
right?
that's
Yo, this
That's not the problem. That's not, no,
Ali just hit the button right there.
no,
He
that's
just
not the
hit it.
problem at all. And this is what I'm talking about. When y'all come with the biblical bullshit, but you will live under secular motherfucking rules, this is where shit gets crazy. You made the company. He's the replaceable dude. It's very difficult to follow a man when you are actually doing this job. So when we, Tina, I'm not
But
using
I
against
still
you.
did.
Tina,
I don't
no, Tina,
understand.
one second, Tina, 1 second. Because it might look like I'm trying to attack you, and I'm
No,
not.
it's okay.
Right? Secular beliefs and biblical beliefs are completely different because biblical beliefs, for the most part, adapt to an era where woman didn't have no type of agency, right? If
True.
you
Yeah.
are the person that is
I mean, Proverbs 31 woman was an entrepreneur, so.
And here we go. Here we go. Shout out to Take Heed to the Message and CBZ for the $5 super chat cash apps. Thank you guys so much for the support. So here we go. She was quick to point out the fact that there are some points in the Proverbs 31 scriptures about being resourceful, right? But what about the rest? And so in my research, of course, you know, guys, y'all know how I like to do my research. Yes. I found out that there are the modern women are now taking the Proverbs 31 scriptures and totally changing it to fit their narratives. So we're going to quickly roll through these, and we're going to unpack Proverbs 31 woman, more than a boss, right? And so at the bottom, you're going to see some information, because I'm not going to go through everything all at once, right? But this is where the contention came from, right? So she got kind of triggered a little bit when I sent my little super chat. But yeah, so we're going to get into it. And again, I'm going to be putting some banners up with some more information. And if anybody wants to come up, the link is at the top, and we're going to roll through them. Okay. So we're going to talk about it. So you're going to say, Patty, why does this matter? So Proverbs 31, this is a model for women that celebrate strength and submission, wisdom, work, and dignity. Right? So the first thing we're going to look at, let's take down old girl here. First thing we're going to look at is some of the top modern day misinterpretations of Proverbs 31. Can anybody guess what some of the top misinterpretations of the Proverbs 31 scripture? Anyone can guess. Hey, Fatty. Anyone can guess. So here are a few. So the top modern day misinterpretations of Proverbs 31. Let me take this down too, because so I want y'all to be able to see it. So modern women now has taken the scripture and try to turn it into something else. Okay. So the first thing is she's just a Christian boss bae. The modern claim is that the Proverbs 31 woman is an entrepreneur, and we just heard old girl say that, right? And then somebody else in the chat was like, yes, the Proverbs 31 woman was a boss, a businesswoman. But what about the other stuff? The Proverbs 31 woman is entrepreneur, CEO, influencer, and side hustle queen. Is what they're turning it into now. The next one is it's just a woman in business or married life. The modern claim is this only applies to wives and working women, which is false. We're going to get into it. Then she's passive and quiet, just a submissive housewife. The modern claim is this woman just cooks, cleans, submits, and that's all she's good for. This is what they say. The next one is her value comes from what she does. The modern claim is you have to consistently do more to be a Proverbs 31 woman. The next one is this is just an ancient ideal. It's not realistic today. The modern claim is this is written for another time and it doesn't apply now. And here's a very interesting one. I am the ultimate trophy you chase. The modern claim is women are the prize and men must win us. This is what they turned Proverbs 31 into. Again, the link is at the top when it all come up. You don't have to be on camera. It's a relaxed day today. This is what they're claiming now. Okay? This is what they're claiming now. So what we're going to do, and I kind of condensed it as much as I could. y'all know when I do my research, I'll be having like 199 slides, but I got them all the way down to just 10. So what we're going to do, guys, so there's no misinterpretations or assumptions or whatever. We're going to go verse by verse. Verse by verse analysis of Proverbs 31. We're going to start at verse 10 to 31. Okay. So let's get into the first one. So verses 10 to 12, Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The definition of virtuous, having or showing a high moral standard, morally excellent, exhibiting integrity, honesty, kindness, self-control, compassion, and thought, word, and deed. And what I find so interesting is a lot of women, they only want to focus on the part where the virtuous woman is far beyond rubies. Okay. So this is where they get that I am the prize. The key point is a truly virtuous woman is rare and priceless, not because she is unattainable, but because her strength and character is uncommon and deeply valued. Proverbs 31 and 11. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that she shall have no need of spoil. That means she is trustworthy. She brings no harm to her husband. She brings no harm to her husband. That goes to all the ladies. Like, he can't tell me what to do. He can't tell me what to wear. He can't tell me where to go. You are not a Proverbs 31 woman. Because if he is supposed to protect you, you're supposed to listen. You are supposed to be trustworthy and bring no harm to him. And that means emotionally, mentally, and physically. She's consistent and emotionally safe. Can you say your man have a safe space for him to come and talk to you? Is he comfortable enough to come talk to you? Does he trust you enough to come to be able to open up to you? The key point here is her husband fully trusts her, not just with his household, but with his heart. She adds to his life rather than taking from it. How many women have we seen on Team Fatty's panel when women just want to take and not give? No reciprocation at all. But yet they say they're a Proverbs 31 woman. Verse 12, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. The key point here is her loyalty and love is unwavering. It's not conditional. It's not transactional. Her goodness towards her husband isn't seasonal or conditional. It's a lifelong covenant and commitment. And when I put the link in the chat as well for the full show with Fatty, the young lady failed at that point. So verses 10 through 12 hits the misinterpretation that we talked about earlier. Women are the prize. This is what they say. It's not about turning a woman into a commodity or status symbol. It underscores mutual trust, and godly wife worth isn't extracted by conquest, but entrusted by her husband. So here are the key points for verses 10 through 12 of Proverbs 31 woman. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Take He says she listening. CBZ say preach red. Dr. Steele is in the house. Hi, Dr. Steele. Dr. Steele says Proverbs 31 woman, the woman a man should be dreaming of marrying. All right. Let's get it. So from verses 13 through 19, talks about her work ethic. Let me say that again. Verses 13 to 19 talks about her work ethic. And here is where the boss bae, businesswoman, entrepreneur thing gets stuck. But what happens is they forget about verses 10 through 12. They forget about verses 10 through 12 and go directly to verses 13 through 19 when it talks about the work ethic. So if you want to adhere to something, you got to do the whole thing and not just half. Okay? So pause so you can read it, and we're going to go through it. Let's go. I'm just going to read the key points. Proverbs 31 and 13 is breaking down. She is resourceful and hands-on, choosing quantity materials and laboring purpose, not grudgingly, but willingly. Because the scripture says she seeks wool and flax and work willingly with her hands, not grudgingly, not with the attitude, not with nagging, not being cantankerous, not saying, oh, I don't want to do this. Why do I have to? Are you Proverbs 31 women? She does it willingly. 14, she is like a merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. Key points is she goes the distance to provide, comparing her provisions to ships that bring in needed supplies. She's strategic and thoughtful and resourceful. Verse 15, she rises also while it is yet night, and gives meat to her household and a portion to her handmaids. Shout out to all the women that say that they will never wake up and fix their man a sandwich. Proverbs 31 women. Shout out to the women that say, I will. Why do I need to get up early in the morning? When he got to go to work, why do I got to get up and make him coffee? Why do I got to do this, right? But you say you're a Proverbs 31 woman, right? She is disciplined and sacrificial. She rises early to care for others. She leads with service and structure. I was always taught that when you're in a marriage relationship, it is being of service to one another. It is a selfless job. So if you are selfish, you are not a Proverbs 31 woman. 16, she considers the field and buys it, and with the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. Key points in this verse is she's financially savvy and entrepreneur. And this is the one that a lot of the boss babe ladies like to run with. But ma'am, what about verses 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15? She thinks, evaluates, acts, investing in long-term resources and not just spending. Proverbs 17, 31 and 17, she dresses herself with strength and strengthens her arms, meaning she prepares, equips herself for the demands of life. She's showing discipline and fortitude. Proverbs 31 and 18, she perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes out. Her candle does not go out by night. I'm sorry, guys. I will fix that. That's a typo. Meaning, she values her work and labor. She's not burnt out because she's motivated by excellence and discernment. Proverbs 31 and 19, she lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the staff. Meaning she's productive and skilled in managing the tools of her trade. She's diligent and not lazy or idle. She's industrious. She's not busy to be seen. She's busy to build. So verses 13 to 19 is talking about her work ethic. She's purposeful. Every task is rooted in service to her family, to her household, and to her God. Let's say that again. The purpose is rooted in service to her family, her household, and to our God. She's balanced. She's not frantic. She's fruitful. She's disciplined. She's consistent, not chaotic. She's focused on legacy and not visibility. Y'all catching it? 18 says 10 through 12 became obsolete. Yes, exactly. Thank you, 18. Thank you. Hey, Naomi. Big Dog Rock says most Bible thumpers split verses that fit the exactly and forget the rest. Exactly. All right. So verses 10 to 12 is talking about her value and her trust, her husband's trust in her. Verses 13 through 19 is talking about the work ethic, right? And these are the scriptures the boss babes like to get in. You know, they like to hone in on that, right? So here's a takeaway from the work ethic. She works hard not just to make money, but to build a household economy. Not for self-glorification. She's an investor in the well-being of her family. Not a hustler chasing the spotlight. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Uh-oh, missed one. Oh, here we go. Yep. Oh, here we go. So let's get into verses 20 through 22. Verses 20 and 22 talks about her compassion and dignity. Here's some more stuff that the quote unquote, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman, seem to forget. Because I'm a boss babe, I'm a businesswoman. I know how to do this. I got a PhD and I know how to run a house, blah, blah, blah. But they forget about these points. They forget about verses 10 to 12 and now 20 to 22. Let's get into it. Verses 20, she stretched out her hand to the poor. Yes, she reached forth her hand to the needy. She's generous and compassionate. She's not just focused on her own household. Her care extends outward. She's actively serves the poor, not just with money, but with her hands and presence. How do you treat people on the outside? Are you nasty and attitude-ish and just cantankerous to other people? Her virtue includes social responsibility. She's merciful. She's not self-centered or hoarding. This is what verses 20 mean. This is still the Proverbs 31 woman. It is not just I'm an entrepreneur or business-minded woman. You have to have these attributes as well. Verse 21, she is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. Let's break that down. Winter and hardship doesn't scare her. Why? Because she plans ahead. Consciousness. Shout out to Promote Conscious Parenting. Her family is well covered because she thought ahead and act wisely. She clothed herself and her family well, meaning the presentation with dignity and protection matter. She isn't sloppy or indifferent. Verse 22, she makes herself covering in tapestry. Her clothing is in silk and purple. She's elegant, not just efficient. She's modest. She does not neglect herself. She shows signs of dignity and self-respect. She's presenting herself with self-respect and beauty. She embraces femininity and grace without vanity. This is also a part of being the Proverbs 31 woman. Key points here is she's not self-centered. She puts in work, but is also compassionate. She doesn't just build a beautiful home. She becomes a blessing to others beyond its doors. Her success is not just personal. It blesses everyone that come in contact with her. We're still talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. Her success is not just personal. It blesses the poor, guards her home, and reflects God's favor. We're still talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. All right. Here's some more stuff that they forget about. Here are some more points they forget about. Verses 23 through 25 is breaking down the supportive and how she is supportive and influential. Supportive in what would you say, Miss Betty Ray? Proverbs 31 and 23. Her husband is known in the gates, meaning, known in the city, known around, when he sits among the elders of the land. Her excellence elevates him. Do your excellence elevate your man? Okay. I mean, or is he ashamed? Or does your character or how you present yourself, can you say that he's proud of you? Her support and wisdom elevates her husband's reputation. Is the way you present yourself damaging your husband's reputation or elevating your husband's reputation? Are the men talking about him behind his back because they know who you are? You cantankerous, gutter snipe bitch. So they just laughing at him behind his back. He think he got the best thing since sliced bread, but they looking at him like he crazy. Like, my boy, you know who you married? You know who you with? She is his secret weapon. Her husband is respected not just for who he is, but in part because of who she is. Are you representing your family appropriately? Dr. Seal says, in other words, the wife represents her. Exactly. Exactly. Her private faithfulness builds public favor for her family, not just for herself. Proverbs 31:24, she maketh fine linen and sells it and delivers it to the merchants. She's home-based industry. She's creative. Management skills. She contributes to the economy with integrity and excellence. Proverbs 31:25, strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in times to come. She wears virtue like a garment. Rather than being clothed in anxiety or vanity, she wraps in spiritual strength and dignity. She has peace about the future because she is rooted in godly character. Can the women that always quoting Proverbs 31 and saying they're a virtuous woman, can you say this? Her legacy is joy because her choices are righteous. The Proverbs 31 woman makes righteous choices, not just for herself, but for her husband and her family. The takeaways for support are influential. Her support and wisdom elevates her husband's reputation because she is his secret weapon. You represent the man you are beside. Y'all like to say, I'm helping, I'm helping, I'm helping. But you represent him. So when he's telling you something, you should be listening. How are you presenting yourself to the world? Because you're a part of him. I just got questions, baby. I got questions. Okay. Here we go. Now here's another scripture that the ladies that I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. They like to forget about verse 26. And we see them on the panels all the time. They want to forget about verse 26. When we talk about that hellfire in the mouth. Because verse 26 is talking about your speech, your tongue, and wisdom. Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. So Proverbs 31:26 says, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. So let's break that down phrase by phrase. She opens her mouth with wisdom. She speaks intentionally and thoughtfully. Her words are not rash or idle. She speaks when there is something worth saying. Oh my God. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How many ladies can say they know when to shut up? How many of the ladies can say y'all know when to shut up? She speaks when there is something worth saying. Proverbs 31 woman. When she says what she says is guided by discernment and insight. She doesn't just talk. She imparts truth. Now here's a big one. And I did a show, I think about 2 years ago, when we talked about the mouth of the woman. Her words shape her children, her marriage, and her community. Let's say that again. Her words shape her children, her marriage, and her community. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. You can break or make a person by the things you say to them, especially your children, especially the children. I have seen kids that were beat down from babies, called stupid, ugly, and all that. And so when they grow up, guess what they think of themselves? I'm stupid and I'm ugly. Because mama words shaped that baby. And your words can shape your marriage as well. Shape your relationship as well. You always saying something negative. You always talking trash. Oh, he ain't this and he ain't that. Always got something. You are bringing more and more and more negativity every time you open up your mouth. Her words shape her children and her marriage and her community. Second part of that scripture. In her tongue is the law of kindness. Some of y'all got not a child. Okay. Look. Just as evil and cantankerous as y'all want to be. Just evil as you want to be. That little tongue in some of y'all mouths, Lord have mercy. Okay. You need to throw it away or something. The law implies consistent standards, not just occasional habit. Her speech is governed by kindness. Even correction and confrontation is delivered with what? Grace. Not attitude, not nastiness, not sign language, not smacking the teeth and rolling the eyes, getting loud, talking all weird, talking all nasty, cursing and all that kind of stuff. Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. Y'all forgot about verse 26? Yeah, y'all forgot about verse 26? Y'all love verse 13 through 19. Yes, honey. Industrious, entrepreneur, businesswoman. But y'all forgot about verse 26? Want to talk about your mouth? Y'all forgot about verse 26. That's a part of the Proverbs 31 woman too. Even correction and confrontation is delivered with grace. Her kindness isn't weakness. Just because I choose not to go back and forth with men does not mean I'm weak. Okay. I just know my place. And if I need to go back and forth with someone, I know how to do it with grace. Okay. Shout out to my mama. She taught me well. Okay. Her kindness isn't weakness, it's her discipline and communication. So if you can't hold your tongue, ma'am, and you can't talk to someone respectfully, if you always got to get outside of your body when you have a disagreement, you got to be cantankerous and going off the deep end, calling names and bands and all this kind of stuff, your little peen and all that kind of stuff. That means you have no discipline. She speaks with discernment and kindness, not sarcasm, not gossip, not bitterness. Her words bring life and order. She speaks with both wisdom and warmth. She's not harsh or hollow. Her words build, bless, and bring peace. This is not just a homemaker or entrepreneur. This is a teacher, an influencer, a wise matriarch. When you can control your tongue, baby. A woman with wisdom and kindness can shift generations without raising her voice. A woman with wisdom and kindness can shift generations without raising her voice. Oh, shout out to all y'all Proverbs 31 women. Did y'all forget about verse 26? Did y'all forget about verse 26? Because the way I be seeing y'all people's talking to each other and men's and stuff like that. Y'all forgot about verse 26. I don't know. Takeaways from her speech and wisdom. Her tongue is not sharp. It's seasoned with grace. Her home is covered in wisdom and peace. Her words shape her children, her marriage, and her community. That's verse 26. That was verse 26. All right, verse 27. Did y'all forget about this one too? Proverbs 31 women's. I'm a boss babe. I'm a boss wife. Because I only want to listen to verses 13 to 19. I want to forget about all the other verses in the chapter. Let's get into it. Her stewardship is talked about in verses 26, 27. Proverbs 31 and 27. She looks well to the ways of her household. Oh, let's say that again. She looks well to the ways of her household and eat not the bread of idleness. Let's break that down. She looks well to the ways of her household. She's attentive, not absent. A true wife and mother doesn't check out. She watches carefully, pays attention, and is vigilant. Ways of her household refers to habits, behaviors, needs of everyone under her care. Do you pay attention to your husband and children? Or are you just selfish and self-centered? You only want them to pay attention to you and your needs and what's going on with you, your behavior, your habits, your wants. Do you pay attention to your family needs? Are you that attentive to your family where they don't even have to say something? You can just look at their body language and know what they need or what's going on with them, or if they're hurting or just have something on their mind, or something is wrong. And they don't have to say a word because you know them that well. How many of you Proverbs 31 women can say that? Are you that attentive to your man? Are you paying attention to his wants, his needs, his desires? Or are you just selfish that you just want him to pay attention to you? Hey, lost in translation. She's a watchful steward, not controlling, but intentional. This is wise, proactive oversight, not passive. She knows what's going on in her home, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Are you the type of woman that just only focuses on what you need, what you can get out of somebody? You're not even paying attention to what the people around you. You don't even know what's going on. That's why I can never figure out what parents were like, oh, I didn't know Johnny was building a bomb in the basement. I didn't. What? Help me understand. You didn't know Johnny was building a bomb in the basement, ma'am. Help me understand why these mamas didn't know that their daughters was pregnant. Or haven't. Look, child, look. The way my family set up, child, look. They knew when even if a boy was sniffing around you. Y'all not paying attention to y'all children? Right? No, lots of translations. I never understood that. Look, I was like, what you mean y'all don't know? So are you so-called Proverbs 31 women? Are you proactive? Are you attentive or you absent? Or are you just checking, you checked out? Are you so self-absorbed you don't see anything else but other than yourself and what you need, what your needs and wants are? I posted this meme one time where it says women always have a the intuition or discernment when their man is cheating, but they don't have the intuition or discernment when their man is unhappy. The second one is, and eat not the bread of idleness. She doesn't live off laziness, excuses, or distractions. She's not busy for the sake of busyness, but she avoids wastefulness and stay proactive in her roles, productive in her roles. Her diligence protect her home from chaos, confusion, and neglect. She is watching well. She's not exhausted from hustle. She's anchored in awareness. She is not fueled by passivity. She is nourished by purpose. She doesn't eat the bread of idleness because she is too full of wisdom, love, and vision. So y'all Proverbs 31 women, why y'all skipping verse 26, 27? Because a lot of y'all women talking about y'all got intuition and discernment and don't even know what's going on in your household. The takeaway here is this woman is the chief operating officer of her home. She is present, perceptive, and proactive. A godly wife doesn't let her house run itself. She sets the rhythm, the tone, and the standard. She sets the rhythm, the tone, and the standard. All right, let's talk about legacy and excellence. This is verses 28 and 29 of Proverbs 31. Her children arise up and called her blessed. Her husband also praised her. So shout out to all you Proverbs 31 women, but check this out. Do you not know your legacy begins at home? Not in the boardroom, not being an entrepreneur, not being a boss bae, but it begins at home, your household, your family. Her life bears visible fruit. Her children respect and revere her. Why some of y'all children don't respect y'all? Is this why some of y'all children don't respect y'all? Whew. Her husband doesn't take her for granted. He publicly praises her character, not just her contributions. Sometimes I hear women like, he don't never do this for me, whatever. Is there a reason why he don't? Because maybe he doesn't have nothing to praise. Your character doesn't reflect on something that he publicly wants to lift up. Proverbs 31 woman. Her influence multiplies through her family. Her home is the soil where her legacy takes root. Your home is the soil where your legacy takes root. She doesn't just provide, she plants generational seeds. Ladies, we are more than what you think we are. Women, we shape and mold and cultivate our family, our marriages, our relationships. I hear a lot of women say, "Oh, I don't want to be a submissive wife and this, and I don't want a traditional." You don't understand the power that you hold, ladies. You really don't. Verse 29, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excel them all. When you are a true Proverbs 31 woman, she stands out through consistency. She is not a chameleon. Not a year ago, she was a cantankerous gutter snipe. And she did a 360, 180. And now she's feminine and submissive and a wife now. But she stands out through consistency. She's always been that. Not switching up every 6 months. Or when she happy, when she got a man, she can go back to being, feminine and stuff. But she break up. She go back to being a gutter snipe. I'm just But verse 29 is saying she stands out through consistency. Right, Dr. Still debate and switch, yeah. Many women do good. There's a lot of women saying, I'm a good woman. I'm a good woman. But I'm a good woman. But I'm a good woman. But the difference between the good woman and the Proverbs 31 woman, her virtue is exceptional. Not from pride or comparison, but because of her depth of character. She rises above in faithfulness, not fame. She rises above in faithfulness, not fame. She is not the loudest or most visible. She's the most faithful. Key points here, she's not chasing applause from strangers. Her family is her first ministry. Oh my, let me tell you something. That's something that my mom taught me. That your marriage and your family is your ministry. So when I was doing my research and it came across, I knew that's definitely one of the key points. Her family is her first ministry. Her children rise up not because she was perfect, but because she was present. Your children respect you and love you and revere you when you are a present parent. When you are present in those babies' lives. A lot of you mamas not present. Yeah, you cook, you feed them, and you buy them clothes, but you're not present. You're not present. You don't even know what's going on in your kid's life. Her husband praises her not for her body or beauty, but for her character and consistency. You Proverbs 31 women's. It's not about your beauty or your booty. Let me say that again. Let me say it again. It's not about your body or your booty, but it's your character and consistency. Her husband praises her not for her body or beauty, but for her character and consistency. She's not praised for being better than others in a prideful way. She's honored because her life overflows with faith, love, and wisdom, making her a model worth imitating. They watch, they hate, and then they copy. Takeaways. True honor comes from those who know her best, her family. Her influence is generational. She's remembered not for her resume, but for her reverence. Proverbs 31 is talking about legacy and excellence as well. Let's get to the last two verses, yo. Her fear of the Lord, or i.e., respect of the Lord, and divine reward. Proverbs 31 and 30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fear, i.e., respect the Lord, shall be praised. She fears the Lord, and that sets the standard. Do you have standards, ma'am? Or are you just everywhere, all over the place? Or are you just all over the place? This is the core reverence of God, and it is her deepest virtue. She's not chasing worldly validation. She's not chasing validation from the internet or the TikToks or the panels. Her work and character speaks for her. What does your work and character say about you? Messy, cantankerous, bitter, uncooperative, boastful, prideful, murderous tongue. What does it say about you? Beauty fades, trends change, but the fear of the Lord builds a house the storms can't tear down. Proverbs 31 and 31. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. This woman's life speaks for itself. Again, what would your life say? If you really be honest, if you would really be honest about your life, what would it really say about you? What would it really say about you? Can anybody answer? What would your life really say about you? Not the fake you, but the real you. No need for self-promotion. Her works testify. Her life preaches long after she is silent. Her children carry her wisdom. Shout out to my parents, because a lot of my wisdom comes from my parents. Her home carries warmth. Her community carries her example. Let her work be so clear, so impactful that even city leaders take notice. Even the people in your community take notice. Even the people in your neighborhood take notice. Even the people you socialize on social media take notice. This is spiritual equity. Her life holds value in eternity. Let her be honored in the places of influence. Why is that? Because her discipline, her grace, her leadership, her faith, all those unseen moments become her public testimony. It's not about fame. It's about public credibility rooted in private virtue. She built her legacy at home. It starts at home. It starts with your family. It starts with your husband. But her influence reaches the gates. She's not chasing worldly validation. She lives for heaven's applause, not cultural trends. Fear of the Lord fuels all of her labor. She built her legacy at home, but her influence reaches everywhere. It's Proverbs 31. All of it, not just some of it. Now, ladies, they just want to use some of it, not all of it. And you can't say you a Proverbs. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm a virtuous woman. And you only adhering to 5 other scriptures in the whole chapter. That's not how I go. That's not how I go. Last slide, guys, and we're out of here. Let's do a little overview. So going back to the clip from Teen's Fatty Show, one young lady was like, oh, Proverbs 31, Proverbs 31. She was an entrepreneur. But guess what? Proverbs 31 isn't just about a businesswoman. Absolutely not. Because before they even talk about being a businesswoman, before they even talk about her being industrious, before it even talks about her being an entrepreneur, before it talks about her being, I got a PhD, before it talks about her having 3, 4, 5 master degrees, she is a wife. The heart of her husband trusts in her. She's a homemaker, managing her household with diligence. So before she's all that other stuff, she's a wife, she's a homemaker first. Then it talks about her being a businesswoman. But even when it talks about her being a businesswoman, it's under the guidance and leadership of her husband. That's the part they forget. She trades good and invests wisely. And here's the other parts that the I'm a Proverbs 31 virtuous woman. Forget. After it talks about her work ethic, she's a teacher. It talks about your mouth, how you're supposed to talk to people, how you're supposed to talk with wisdom and teach kindness, not nagging and cantankerous behaviors. That's a part of being a Proverbs 31 woman. And here's another one you forget. Proverbs 31 woman is selfless. She's a servant. Proverbs 31 woman is a queen. Her character earns her honor. If you don't display the character and the characteristics and personalities that adhere to what you're supposed to be, you do not get the honor of queen, ma'am. You are not a queen. A lot of these people say, hi, queen, bless queen. You bring shout out to all the queens. These chicks is not queens at all. Nowhere, shape, or form. Because their character does not line up to being a queen. Their character doesn't line up being a virtuous woman. Their character doesn't line up to being a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Disrespectfully. She is not defined by one sphere. She flourishes in every area entrusted to her by God. The Proverbs 31 is not a checklist. It is a portrait of potential when a woman walks in her God-given purpose, her God-given role within her home first, within your home first, within your home first, and then beyond. Final takeaways. Proverbs 31 woman isn't defined by hustle culture. She's anchored in faith, driven by love, and crowned in dignity. It's about a wife, the heart, the engine, and the crown of her household, not the boardroom, not her storefront store, not her lash collection, or her bundles on sale, or the real estate house that she just sold. But she wears the crown of her household, her family, her husband, her children, her community, whose strength flows from her fear, aka respect of God. So here's final reflection. What can we learn today? The Proverbs 31 woman is not a 24/7 hustler, nor a silent shadow. She is a balanced, capable, reverent woman of God. She knows her place. She knows her duty. She knows her ministry. She knows she needs to be of service to her husband and family first. That is the Proverbs 31 woman. Well, that's all I have for today, y'all. I just had to come and do that. Hey, Captain. Shout out to Captain coming in the house. I just had to come up and talk about the Proverbs 31 woman for today because that lady kind of triggered me because she talking about, Proverbs 31 woman is just a businesswoman. No, she is not just a businesswoman. No. Because she's a wife and a homemaker first. She's all these things first. She's more than just someone that's industrious and resourceful and can bring in money too. She's a teacher. She's a servant. She's a homemaker. She's all these. All these things make up the Proverbs 31 woman. So we can miss these things here. So today's women are now trying to turn the Proverbs 31 woman into these things. But we're not having it. Okay. So please go back. I'm going to put the timestamps in for each of the script, the verse by verse, so that you can go back and check it out. So we reviewed verses 10 through 12 when it talks about her value and trust. We reviewed verses 13 to 19 when it talks about her work ethic. And these are the ones that the boss babes love, because it talks about, her being industrious and an entrepreneur. We reviewed verses 20 through 22 when it talks about her compassion and dignity. We reviewed verses 23 through 25 when it talks about her being supportive and influential to her husband. Okay. We reviewed verses 26 when it talks about your mouth. Okay. That tongue, we talked about that. So all you, I'm a virtuous woman and Proverbs 31 women, what about that tongue? What about your mouth? Are you speaking wisdom or foolery? Are you cantankerous and argumentative, uncooperative? I'm just saying. Verse 27 talks about her stewardship, right? She's attentive, not absent. She pays attention to her family with detail. She's proactive in oversight. She knows what's going on in her home. She's not lazy and distracted. And because she's diligent, she protects her home from chaos and confusion, her children from chaos and confusion and neglect. Proverbs 31 women. Did y'all forget about verses 27? We went over verses 28 and 29. Her legacy begins in her home. It starts with your family. It doesn't start with your PhD. It doesn't start in the boardroom. It doesn't start with your real estate business. It doesn't start with your lash business. It doesn't start with your bundle business. It doesn't start with your YouTube channel. It starts in your home. Her respect for the Lord and her divine reward, verses 30 and 31. And the question that came out from the video, shout out to Team Fatty, is Proverbs 31 about a businesswoman? Absolutely not. It is talking about a wife first, a homemaker second. A lot of these virtuous women forget about the first part. and just want to focus on the third. But we're not going to do that. Because if you want to be the quote-unquote Proverbs 31, you need to do all. You have to have all the characteristics, all the personalities, all the things you need to strive to be. Okay? All right, guys. Well, that is it for me. I know Team Fatty is about to go on, and we've got to redirect on. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will put the timestamps in the comments so you guys can just go through the ones that you want to review. I hope you guys learned something. I truly did. Thank you guys for thank everyone that supported the channel. Let me see. Shout out to CBZ for the $3 super sticker. Shout out to CBZ for the $2 super chat. Preach Red. You both represent one another. And shout out to CBZ and Take Heed to the Message for the $5 cash apps. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. And the doors of the church is closed now.
I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
As soon as the show over, he do like this. Well, I'm ready to go. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell them I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing. Why? Cause they know I go again. And when they get it dry, I'm the one that can make it flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again. Running into us, we gladly send you home again. Yo, we don't talk, better know the grind gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope. Cause all I do is win. And I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell them I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss.